here, Father, is a certificate of lunacy, signed by Justice of the Peace, that's me, and Dr. Macduff here.
That sounds uncommonly like a threat, Austin.
That is just a matter of my fee for the certification, Mr. Austin. 7 6, as I think I mentioned. If you've no change, perhaps your father has some silver about his person.
Let me see that certificate.
Don't give it to him, Austin. It's a trick. He'll eat it. Or something mad like that.
Calm yourself, Morris. It's just the carbon. Houghton, Washbrook, come in.
Oh, the shame. My husband, a lunatic.
I want no more violence than is absolutely necessary. Never forget that in his time he was a very great man.
Oh, my God, Austin, can you do nothing right? Look at your top copy. These two adjacent lines, Justice of the Peace and lunatic to be certified. You've got B. Hardacre under the first and A. Hardacre under the second.
Yes, well, that's easily rectified. My pen, Macduff.
I don't think you could be a party to tampering with official documents, could you, Doctor?
Certainly not, particularly as I've never had the fee.
Keep the change.
But I don't understand. What's going on?
Your brother Austin, my dear, with his familiar flair for falling at the final fence, has just certified himself.
Oh, the shame. My son, a lunatic.
No, come on. Let's be reasonable about this.
You've made a complete mess of this, Austin. Sometimes I wonder if you're all there.
He isn't, and we have that in writing. His own. Take him away. I want no more violence than is absolutely necessary.
No!
Never forget that in his time he was the son of a very great man.
Wait! You've been very clever, Father, but you've overlooked one thing. There are 3 classes of people who can't be MPs. Peers of the realm, convicted felons, and lunatics.
The place is full of lunatics.
Not certified lunatics. So if you want me to be a puppet in Parliament, you'll have to think again.
Good point, good point. An encouraging gleam of sanity, Austin. Let him go. But you better win this by-election, because if you don't get a seat in the one madhouse, you'll find there's a bed waiting for you in the other.
Set his poor broken body down there.
Should we not have took him to the hospital?
Yeah, just packed to the doors with fever victims.
Talking of doors, what are we going to do with this? I think he's trying to say something.
Careful with that door. It's Mr. Hardacre's property. Tell him. I can mend it, all right.
Do you not think you'll be way down here?
Oh, son of mine. You don't know what it's like trying to get a coffin down them stairs.
A coffin?
Hush, hush, George. Don't fret. See, you've upset him now.
Might as well do this now. Then it's done. Saves unpleasantness. Avoids all them arguments about shrinkage.
I'm beginning to think you get commission from them co-op undertakers.
I do not. Not at all. It's just a service to me friends. Well, I get a bit of a divvy, but that's all. Has he been putting out by Whit Burial Club?
Oh, aye. We've been paying for donkey's years. In fact, when I look at some folk going off in fumed oak with brass handles and they haven't been paying in above 12 months, I sometimes think we're a very unlucky family.
Hope you slept well, Father. Mountfast isn't here yet, Father. I've sent the car round to the station to pick him up. You do understand, Father, that whatever I did it for the good of the business. I know it may have seemed ruthless.
Aye, so it's that streak in you, ruthless to the point of, shall we say, lunacy, that inclines me to be lenient.
Has anyone seen the bugle? Doesn't seem to have been delivered this morning.
No, there's some talk that delivery boys are reluctant to handle the bugle all of a sudden.
You wouldn't.
Me? Why should I care about the bugle?
Because it crusades for the rights of the common people.
Charlotte, you know naught about the common people. What was it you said last week in your editorial? Before long, the redundant crutch workers will have to sell the family silver to keep the wolf from the door.
Well, they will. What else can they do?
Charlotte, the only silver they ever see is the skin on a kipper. You spend more on blouses in a year than they earn in a lifetime.
Oh, that's below the belt, Daddy. Oh, why can't you fight clean?
Morning, Hardacre. No mistaking that child. Every inch her mother's daughter.
Morning, Mountfast. Have some coffee. You'll find it's hot and strong.
Yes, hot and strong, Hardacre, was how the Prime Minister was giving it to me last night in the Perineum.
The which?
You're not a member? Remind me to put you up sometime. Frankly, Hardacre, the PM thinks you're taking this by-election pretty damn lightly. You mustn't underestimate Pugh. He's a damn fine candidate.
The man's a traitor to his class.
He's making all the running. As the PM said, what's wrong? Won't our cock fight?
The first rule of warfare, Mountfast, is know your enemy. I've been looking up this fellow Pugh in Berks. I see he's Lord Sudbury's elder son. Well, when Sudbury drops off the perch, the lad's bound for the House of Lords.
But, Father, Lord Sudbury's in the prime of life. He's good for 20 years yet.
I've not seen Sudbury since armistice night. How is his health?
Oh, he's in the pink, doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. Keeps himself in shape with a regular Friday visit to Mrs. Marchington in Wimpole Street.
Mrs. Marchington? You mean Big Doris is still at it? What a woman. 23 stone and every ounce put to a good use. But I'm amazed to hear she's still going.
No. Respectable professional woman these days. Turned to chiropody. What none of us knew in those heady days, Hardacre, was that all that time she was taking a course in the subject.
Must have been a correspondence course. She certainly couldn't have been going to night school.
Put her brass plate up in Wimpole Street 10 years ago. You know Sudbury's motto, an old soldier looks after his feet. He goes to her every Friday to have his bunions bevelled. Well, I'm off to pay my respects to Isabel.
Doris. That takes me back. You know, son, she wasn't the highest paid courtesan of her day, but she certainly was the heaviest and the most industrious. A man had to be in first-class physical trim to cope with her.
Ah, damn your reminiscences, Father. What are we going to do about Pew?
Oh, we'll think of something, son. I'm going up to London this coming Friday. Maybe we could have a chat about it when I get back.
Bugle! Bugle! Crutch factory sackings outrage! 40 jumps lost! Bugle! Bugle! Crutch factory sackings outrage!
Why, Miss Charlotte? Why, Mr. Morris?
Why, Matthew. Why, and Morris.
Why, Matt, and whatever are you doing here, sis?
I'm trying to sell my paper. Suddenly, the old men who sell the Bugle on the streets are too frightened to report for work. It's my father's doing. But what are you doing, Matthew?
Oh, I'm distributing these leaflets. Vote for Pew. I don't suppose anybody's going to ask me what I'm doing. No, it's all, what are you doing, Matthew? What are you doing, Charlotte? I haven't heard anybody asking, what are you doing, Morris?
Oh, all right then, Mr. Morris. If it's not being nosy, what are you doing?
I'm working for your cause, Matt. The Labour cause.
You, Morris, working for the good of the common people. Why, that's wonderful.
Nice to have one's efforts appreciated by someone, Matt.
But you, Mr. Hardacre. Well, if you've come for the rent, I'm very sorry, but my husband's lost his leg. That was the second one this week. Ian, I'm that mither.
I'm not here for the rent. I'm here as God's messenger to give you the word of the Lord. See that? God's vicar on earth. That's what it makes me. So if we've got that clear, here are his instructions. On election day, you will vote Labour. If you do not, you will reserve for yourself a place on the lowest and hottest rungs of the hobs of hell, where you will sizzle for all eternity. Prior to that, if you have any household pets, a murrain will descend on them. Boils, frogs, and lice will infest you, and I should keep a very close watch on your firstborn if I were you. They certainly won't be going on the Sunday school outing. So remember, vote Labour, and good day to you.
Wow. Mr. Morris, I can see your heart's in the right place.
Oh, Morris, don't you see? That's Father's technique. Frightening and browbeating people into doing what you want.
But what's wrong with that? If it's good enough for the Old Testament, it's good enough for me.
Which of these two great generals shall we follow to the field of battle, Larkins? Gordon, the melancholy but indomitable hero victim of Khartoum, or Booth, the stalwart champion of the destitute and dismayed?
My dear Lady Patience.
Get out of here, Mountfast.
Oh, come, Patience, you weren't so inhospitable the last time I entered a bedroom of yours.
Leave us, Larkins.
You still value your reputation, I see. All the more reason for you to be, shall we say, rather more welcoming to your future son-in-law.
I tell you plainly, Mountfast, I consider this match between you and Isabel an abomination, obscene and loathsome, and you know why. Need I remind you of your false promises, of the way you lied to me, of your unscrupulous seduction of a woman whose husband was away at the front?
War, my dear, makes strange bedfellows.
You insinuated yourself into the Mount Street house when you knew Bradley was away in Flanders.
Peddling his self-sharpening bayonet, as I recall.
Doing his bit at all accounts.
We were all of us doing that, my dear.
You're vile, Mountfast. You promised me so much. And I was young enough and fool enough to believe you.
My dear, when a man wishes to lie with a woman, well, he lies to a woman. My union with Isabel is a classic match. Experience and distinction on the one hand, beauty and bullion on the other. The fact that you and I once briefly took pleasure in each other's company is no reason to oppose it.
You think that's my only reason?
What else could there be?
How is your arithmetic, Mountfast? My daughter Charlotte is just 18.
You mean that I?
Yes, Charlotte is your child. When you marry Isabel, your own daughter will become your sister-in-law, and the woman you traduced and betrayed will become, yes, your mother-in-law. Is it not enough that you made me your plaything years ago? Must you now make me a musical joke?
Oh, I say.
Well, Mrs. Fairchild, he seems to be holding his own.
Oh, Doctor, that's a comfort to me.
Aye, it's a comfort to him too, and despite the old wives' tales, I don't believe it'll do him any harm.
Ma'am, somebody here has wants a word with you.
Nay, I've naught to say to the newspaper. If you want to ask questions about so-called explosions in so-called toilets, all I'm saying is no comment.
It's not about my dad's accident, ma'am.
It's that notice in the window, Mrs. Fairchild. You have lodgings to let.
And I can't afford no advertisements at Bugle.
You don't understand. If you have a room, I'd like to take it.
You? Well, the likes of you can't lodge with the likes of us. 'Twouldn't be fitting.
But don't you see, Mrs. Fairchild? That's what's wrong with Utterly.
Aye, ma'am. We must break down this attitude of us and them. Rich and poor. Sheep and goats. Masters and men.
Gents and ladies.
Miss Charlotte, if it's lodgings you're after, I can find you a bed in my quarters. And quite honestly, I've that many calls in my time, it's a bed I'm hardly ever in.
Well, it's very kind of you, Doctor, but it's been brought home to me by my father that if I am to champion the common people, then I must live among the common people.
Yes. If you're stooped to share a humble home, well, hutch up and make room for thee. And thou art greatly welcome.
What do you mean, common? We're not common in this house. And if you don't believe me, you can have a look at that coal hole. There's only the cat as ever goes in there.
Jack, my darling, you've hurt yourself. Oh, thank God, it's only your leg.
Nay, there's naught wrong with me. This is my tram ticket to the top.
Jack, I love my father, as you know, but
Be warned by me. It's a mistake to put all your weight on your own crutch.
My father will see you now.
Jack!
Make it snappy, Fairchild, because I shouldn't be here. I've rubble at mill to contend with.
So you mean trouble at mill, Mr. Hardick?
No, I mean rubble. Someone's blown up the memorial toilet.
Ah, well, happen this will cheer you up. What do you say to that, then?
It's a crutch, and I'll thank you to get it off my desk.
Production line's rolling, Mr. Hardick. 200 crutches a day coming through that assembly shop.
Oh, that's a lot of crutches. You reckon you can sell them?
Look, it's you what's buying them. We got a deal.
Is that right, Austin? Have you signed some kind of contract with this man?
No, Father.
Well, I certainly haven't.
We made a gentleman's agreement.
A gentleman's agreement, Fairchild, requires two gentlemen. I'm not sure that I qualify. I'm quite certain that you don't.
But I have borrowed thousands on strength that it was you set me up, sold me the crutch works.
Aye, and that agreement, which is on paper, is that you pay me for it as soon as production starts rolling, so I'm glad to hear your news. You needn't pay me straight away. I'll give you exactly 7 days.
Now, Fairchild, if you'll excuse us, my father and I have several highly profitable businesses to run.
I can fight you, Hardacre.
This crutch, and everyone like it, they're all made to your design, and I can prove that.
What's more to the point, I can prove it. You sell so much as one of them crutches, and my lawyers will hit you with writs for theft of copyright and piracy of industrial design. It's an enjoyable sight, Fairchild. Looking at a man who's turning out 200 crutches a day and hasn't got a leg to stand on. Good day to you. Oh, dear.
As a true Christian, Barnard, have you ever considered leaving your body to medical science, eh? Think about it, eh? No particular hurry. Take all evening if you wish.
I sent for you 3 days ago, Doctor. The day after my memorial toilet was so mysteriously destroyed.
Oh, I've been that busy, man. A terrible epidemic.
The epidemic that you claim was caused by that very toilet. It was destroyed by a silent explosion, Doctor. SBD. And the number of people with access to my SBD can be counted on the fingers of one offensive gesture. Me and you.
But I have a watertight alibi, Hardacre. When that explosion occurred, I was being admitted to your own house.
With the purpose of having me committed to a lunatic asylum.
In the circumstances, perhaps not the most tactful of alibis.
The sands of time are running out for you, Doctor. You've about enough left to gauge a soft-boiled egg.
So, the coming man has come to this.
Has come to taunt me?
Jack, have you understood so little of my heart? I told you my father was out to crush you, but you wouldn't listen.
Why should I? There's none of you Hardacres to be trusted.
Jack! Oh, Jack, don't you see? I'm here to help you, and you won't let me. I'm here to give you comfort.
Nay, lass. There's only one thing I need to raise right now, and that's money.
What's that?
Your mother's always fancied it.
Oh, Jack, not your beautiful little roadster.
Now, one needs must when the devil drives. And right now, an Hardacre's driving it, which is near enough.
I'd sooner Mother didn't know I was here.
Jack, I'd sooner you weren't here. It is all over between thee and me.
I like it, I'll buy it.
Yeah, make the cheque out to cash. If you ever want it serviced at all, bring it back and I'll... Not long since, Lady Patience, you offered me £1,000 for a service of another kind.
Did I?
You know you did. £1,000 to stop your Isabel going through with this marriage to Lord Mountfast.
You were foolish enough to turn me down.
Yeah, well, does your offer still hold?
Are you still up to it?
Well, we haven't been lately, but pay the ploughman and the ploughshare will find the furrow.
I pay by results. Haven't got much time.
Isabel. Why do you always play so hard to get?
If you've breath enough for coughing, you can help me test these balloons.
It is a wonder that I'm here at all. I'm a miracle recovery.
Mr. Enderby from Co-op, he was asking should they hold your coffin or what? Because if you're going to let them down, they'll have to put it in Christmas sale.
Morning, George. Mr. Haddock, I've been looking into the position with regard to compensation, George.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you were blown up just after the bell went for the end of the shift, weren't you?
Yeah, that'd be right, Mr. Haddock. Yeah.
Shame is that. You're blown up in your own time, you see. I tried to get the accountants to stretch a point, but you know what these fellas are like, they just laugh at you.
Yeah, well, don't get yourself into trouble, Mr. Haddock. Not on my account.
However, as consolation and without prejudice, I brought you this crutch.
Mr. Haddock, you're a saint in human form.
It's latest kind, George, so you best take it out for a test limp.
Yeah, well, I was just thinking of stopping in, Mr. Haddock. You see, kettle generally comes to boil about this time, and I always watch it, you know. It gives you an interest, like.
You test that crutch, George, before it comes on to rain.
Oh, yeah, well, all right, I'll check it for a really good hobble, yes. I could go thought me a bro, yeah. And come back that park steps, yeah. Will it tackle steps at all?
Only one way to find out, George.
What's what with me in mind, Bradley Hardacre?
I'm going up to London, so I want my trousers pressed.
London? You usually keep them on till you get there and then have them pressed fancy.
I'm going to need to keep my wits and my trousers about me on this occasion.
You don't mean to tell me, Talbot, that you servants have the vote?
I'm afraid that is so, sir.
Even Hesketh here doesn't have the vote. This is democracy run mad. What can the king be thinking of?
I could not say, sir.
Well, prayers tomorrow morning, Talbot. You are to instruct them all to vote Labour! Do you see? Labour!
Labour, sir? If you'll allow me to say so, sir. Below stairs here at the hall is 100% true blue, sir.
Talbot! I have spoken!
Morris! Guard!
Hi.
Good to see you.
And you. Hello, Hesketh. I say, Albert, any chance of a restorative tincture?
Good idea. 3 beakers of the blushful Hippocrene, Talbot. Oh, make Hesketh a small one. He has work to do this afternoon. I say, Guy, it's an absolute eye-opener, the hurly-burly of politics. Do you know, the servants actually have the vote.
Yes, I did know that, Morris.
Well, but you don't know, they all vote Conservative.
Yes. The proletariat aren't equipped to form their own dictatorship. That's why we have to do it for them.
Well, I've given orders. They're all to vote Labour in the by-election.
Ah.
Oh, what's wrong? Aren't you pleased?
Well, it's one of the reasons I came to see you today. The party line's changed again. Uncle Joe thinks it's time the effete Western democracies were rearming, so he wants a Tory win.
Tory win? I've been wearing my chasuble to the bone for precisely the opposite. Do just wish someone would consult me!
You're not to sulk, Morris. Moscow are very pleased with you.
Really?
Yes. I've told them that you're in a position to lay your hands on the famous Fairchild Trust lands.
What?
In fact, I've as good as promised them the blueprints. Talbot, Mr. Morris has something to say to you.
Do I?
About the voting, wasn't it?
Oh, all right. As you were, Talbot. Tomorrow morning's prayers tell them all to keep on voting Conservative.
Thank you, sir. If I may say so, sir, it would be most disturbing to see ill-educated Matlots strutting on the poop deck of the great ship of state, sir. Oh, forgive me for speaking out so bold, sir, but I speak it from the heart. You see how it is, sir. Us in the bilges instinctively recognise them whose place is on the bridge.
Oh, those were the days, Mr. Hardacre. What times they was. And you was one of nature's gentlemen. Well, not exactly gentle, as I recall, but definitely all man.
Doris, happy days. Do you think I could have a drop more tea?
Of course.
Good gracious me, that's never the time.
Oh, I'm afraid it is, and I've an appointment due. One of my most stubborn bunions. Oh, I dare say I could put the gentleman off.
No, Doris, I'm late, and you've a professional reputation to keep up. I'll be off.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to Mr. Hardacre. So kind to look up an old friend. Let me show you upstairs. I mean, to the door.
No, I'll see myself out. You drink your tea. Well, it's been delightful talking to you again. Mrs. Marchington? Go through, my lord. You are expected.
I say, I know you, don't I? Got it. Hardcastle, eh?
Near enough, Lord Sodyard.
Yeah. Huh? Huh.
Hail and farewell to you.
Evening, your lordship. If you'll just take your shoes and socks off. Oh, to hell with it. Why stop at your socks? I've wondered for years whether you wear a vest.
Taxi.